So our new anime begins with Rudd, and he's the tank of the hero's party who takes in all the damage to make a way for his party, but after completing one of their quests. He was in the guild with his party member Neen. She woke him up while he was daydreaming about his sister. Rudd just loves his sister way too much, and he was exploring the dungeons to cure an incurable disease his sister had. Apparently there is a treasure in the dungeon that grants any wish. So Rudd was hoping to obtain that for his sister, but he was embarrassed because he was lacking in his skills as a tank because his absorbed shield was depleting way too fast. So it burdens their healer to keep casting buffs on him, but Neen still believed that they have made this much progress only because of Rudd. He has the highest value of shield points at 9999. But the hero Kiglas doesn't think the same as Neen. He brought out 2 new members, and according to law, only 8 can enter the dungeon. So he kicked out Rudd because after taking just one hit Rudd depleted his whole absorbed shield, when Kiglas used his power slash to beat the monsters. So Kiglas blames Rudd and his unknown skill for that, so that is why he brought out a new tank with evasion skill. Kiglas kept insulting Rudd as he kicked him out in front of everyone. Neen didn't like the things as they are now, and Kiglas even took Rudd's magic sword as compensation, and only these 2 twins and Neen believe in Rudd. So Rudd decided to travel back to his hometown to his sister and asked Neen to visit him whenever she felt like it, and now that Rudd is free from the party, he had to travel back to his town. So he asked a D-rank party with an escort mission to let him join them. They recognized Rudd because he was from the hero's party, so they agreed. And then, they travels on their way to Karas town, but a sudden fog surrounds the way and Rudd felt the presence of something. So he stopped the wagon and saw it was just a little girl. She fell down and Rudd saw the magic stone on her chest, but the monster behind her showed up, as it was a gigantic snake, and Rudd used a taunt skill to take his attention. And it gives those kids a perfect chance to hit it, but the snake used its body to use it as a roller to attack Rudd. But he blocked the attack, giving those 3 a chance to kill it without any hard time, after which he gets to the girl and asks where she's headed. That girl had nowhere to go, so Rudd asked her to join him while he's going to town called Avancia. She didn't mind and took her hand, so the old man gave her some clothes as she only had a robe on her. Old man thought she's a slave, but Rudd knew she's a homunculus that serves humans. So he decided to look after her, and after some time, Rudd completes his job with the party and leaves with the girl to reach Avancia. She didn't have a name, so Rudd saw the Lunafia petals and named her Luna, but at night when they stopped, Luna showed her skills with Blade, and Rudd knew she was a special homunculus because normal ones never show any emotions or they have any combat skills. But Rudd doesn't want to abandon her because she reminds him of his sister. Luna was usually great with magic and had Identify skill, the rarest skill of the world. And Rudd was looking for a person with this skill because he doesn't know his 2 mysterious skill effects, so Luna used Identify and told him that aside from his 2 usual skills, he had a life conversion skill that takes the damage of his party and inflicts damage on himself, and another one was an offensive skill that turns damage into attack power. So all this time Rudd was using sacrifice skill to protect his party, and he was happy to know that he wasn't useless. With that, they reached Avancia, and Milena came out first to welcome Rudd, and after her, Fee pulled her back to meet Rudd, and after meeting with them, Rudd gets back home, but he saw all his favorite dishes were prepared because Manisha knew Rudd was coming back, so Rudd introduced Luna to Manisha. And for a moment he got lost because of his Siscon love, so Luna asked Rudd about her moving hair. So Rudd told her that Manisha has a physical idiosyncrasy that allows her to move her hair according to her feelings. And she knew Rudd was coming home because of her skill and made all his favorite dishes, so when they got to dine together, Luna was holding the spoon oddly, so when Manisha noticed that, Luna got scared because of her past as a slave and sat down on the ground to apologize, but Manisha gently showed her the way to hold the spoon and promised to teach her everything slowly. After which, Manisha wanted to show Luna around the town and brings out one of her dresses to give her, but she got scared and went off alone to dress up by herself. So Rudd didn't pry on her and gives her some time to open up herself. Then he takes Luna around the town, and on the way he requests Appraisal, Melinda's father, to make him a new magic sword. Old man agreed, and then Rudd shows Luna around the monster farm. The tree moves like a monster but gives nice and fresh veggies that grow in it. She saw everyone on this town were really great people, so she opens up to Rudd that she's a homunculus, not the real human. But Rudd already knew, so she asks Rudd why he helped her. So Rudd reveals that he used to live in slums and Luna's eyes look just like Manisha, so Rudd asked her if she wants to live as a homunculi or a human. And Luna braces herself to accept her past to live as a human with Rudd and Manisha, so she tells the whole truth to Manisha as well and apologizes for keeping it a secret. And Manisha was just like Rudd and welcomed her with open arms, so the next day, Rudd and many others took on the job of cleaning around the mansion. But it gave him the idea to have a duel with Fee to test out his skills. He just found out. Fee attacks Rudd with a heavy blow, but Rudd used his skill to convert the damage into an attack. And just from a single blow, he broke Thea's absorbed shield that had the damage point of 2,500, and seeing him, Manisha remembers how her parents abandoned her because she had an incurable disease. And Rudd left the family for her, so Manisha kept having those thoughts that she's holding Rudd back from a bright future. She thinks she's a burden to Rudd and turns cold to him sometimes, so Luna saw Rudd could read the newspaper and got surprised because literacy and learning is a luxury only nobles could afford. So Rudd tells Luna that a faction of nobles made a school for the poor and orphans where he and Manisha had studied. Which also reminds Manisha that she heard from a few girls that all the students thinks that Rudd was being held back because of Manisha, so Luna saw her and knew she was sad for some reason. And Manisha indirectly asked Luna what will she think if a person has sacrificed their life for her after knowing that person could live far happier following another path. And Luna knew she was talking about Rudd and her, so she tells Manisha that this is what makes Rudd the happiest, so instead of worrying here, Luna tells Manisha to ask Rudd face to face. Manisha listens to Luna and asks Rudd why he saved her when she was abandoned by their parents, so Rudd reminds her how big and tall he was compared to his peers. And because of it everyone were scared of him, but she was never scared of him and that always made him happy. In a way she saved Rudd from loneliness a long time ago. So he never regrets his decision when Rudd saved her. That heart-to-heart talk finally lifted the burden she felt for a long time, but their need disturbed their lovely moment. She got a little time off from church because the heroes' party kept failing to clear out the dungeons, all because of Kiglas. His power slash consumes his shield energy to turn it into power. And now that Rudd is away, he has grown a lot weaker. They somewhat guessed that his power slash skill was chipping off on Rudd's shield, and at that time no one knew. So they failed miserably and Kiglas got all his bones broken. It quickly got onto the news, but he kept blaming the newbies. He just can't accept the fact. So Neen reminds him that he made his power slash stronger by using Rudd's shield, and that time he made the biggest burst of slash that destroyed Rudd's shield in an instant. So the moron couldn't accept the fact and everyone left, so party was disbanded. So now that she's free, Neen wanted to stay with Rudd and Avancia for a while. But Rudd was worried to let her stay in his house because she was a daughter of Duke plus she's a saint, but she's happy with having Rudd's room, more so she's even okay to share the room with him. Rudd thought she's joking, but girl was literally serious, but romantic mood got distracted when Fee comes there to ask for help. A huge monster just showed up in the town that had black aura. So Rudd took its attention on him and told everyone that all the damage the wolf deals to them will be transferred to him. So all the knights charges in without worries and Rudd turns all the damage taken into attack power and overdid it a bit as he killed the monster wolf. But what surprised them more was that the wolf had 2 magic stones instead of 1, and they are usually used to create homunculus. That clears up that this was an illegal experiment. So, who's mixing stones into monsters to use them as a battle tool? Find out in the next video. Until then, take care.